Most terrifying plane crashes caught on camera. These were the most terrifying plane crashes on camera. We start with this moment when an airplane crashed into the ground and blew up in flames, killing over 30 people. On December 25, 2024, the Azerbaijan Airlines Embraer 190 was flying from Baku, Azerbaijan to Grozny, Russia, when it was diverted due to heavy fog and the presence of Ukrainian drones. When the plane was just 3 kilometers from Aktau International Airport in western Kazakhstan, something terrible happened. While the plane had deployed its landing gear, it crashed into the ground and erupted into a huge fireball. Emergency teams quickly arrived at the scene and extinguished the fire, revealing the chilling extent of the crash. Of the 67 passengers on board, 38 perished while 28 were injured. The injured were quickly transported to hospital for treatment. Initial reports suggested that the crash was due to an emergency probably linked to a bird strike or severe weather conditions. Some experts, though, had a different opinion, claiming that an anti-aircraft missile hit the plane. However, Azerbaijan's president disputed these theories, stating that the plane was unintentionally shot down by the Russian military, which Russia has not confirmed. The aircraft's black box has been recovered and sent to Brazil for analysis. Meanwhile, authorities from Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, and Russia are continuing investigations. The next case was even more serious because only 2 people survived. On December 29, 2024, South Korea's Jeju Air Flight 7C2216 was traveling from Bangkok, Thailand to Muan International Airport when the pilot reported a bird strike and declared a Mayday emergency. While attempting to go around, the plane's landing gear failed to deploy, resulting in a belly landing that would end tragically. The airplane skidded off the runway before crashing into a concrete barrier and bursting into flames. Rescue groups quickly arrived at the scene and launched a search for survivors. Out of 181 people on board, 179 died, and only 2 cabin crew members survived. Investigations have since pointed at bird strikes as the probable cause of the accident, after bird feathers and blood were found in both the engines of the crashed jet. While that crash had 2 survivors, this one had none. On August 9, 2024, in São Paulo State, Brazil, Voepass Flight 2283 was cruising at 17,000 feet when it lost control. Shortly after, the aircraft entered a flat spin and descended rapidly, and soon the worst happened. "58 passengers and 4 crew members were on board, resulting in 62 fatalities. The crash was so severe that the identification of victims relied on documents, seating charts, and cell phones at the scene. Think only plane passengers are at risk? Watch this crash that killed a 4-year-old when it struck an SUV. On March 15, 2021, in Pembroke Pines, Florida, Megan Bishop and her 4-year-old son, Taylor Bishop, left home in their SUV, all set to travel. However, As they approached an intersection near North Perry Airport, something extremely devastating happened. Even before Megan could react, a plane dropped out of the sky, crashed into her SUV, and careened into the airport fence. A second later, the plane exploded into a ball of flames. But because it had spilled fuel, the situation quickly became even more serious. The plane had just taken off from the airport when it crashed into the SUV, trapping Megan and Taylor inside. After being extricated, both were transported to Memorial Regional Hospital in Hollywood. But sadly, Taylor would succumb to his injuries. 2 people on board the plane also died at the scene. Getting struck by a plane while driving is terrifying, but how does it compare to 2 planes colliding? On January 2, 2024, in Tokyo, Japan Airlines Flight 516 was on a scheduled domestic flight from New Chitose Airport to Haneda Airport. However, just when the plane was landing, something terrible happened on the runway. With 367 passengers and 12 crew members on board, Flight 516 collided with a small Coast Guard aircraft carrying 6 people. While both planes immediately burst into flames, there was still something that required urgent action.
All 379 passengers and crew on board a Japan Airlines jet managed to escape.
The passengers were asked to leave their hand luggage in the plane and exit via the emergency slides. Thanks to excellent instruction from Japanese airline staff, the evacuation was over in 20 minutes.
Experts say the Japan Airlines crew did an impressive job to evacuate under difficult conditions. Flight attendants asked people to leave their belongings behind and remove any sharp heels that might tear the evacuation chutes.
17 people on the Japan Airlines flight suffered injuries, but all 379 passengers and crew were safely evacuated. Sadly, 5 of the 6 crew members on the Coast Guard plane died. The captain survived but was seriously injured. A few days later, one of the survivors, Jacob O'Sullivan, took the time to talk about the accident.
Just thinking you're lucky, everyone on our plane's lucky to be. It's probably 1 or 2 seconds where it was just a normal landing, and then just a big hit, everything in the plane shut down. So it was the flight attendants were just screaming. There was a lady sitting next to me and my mum. She was just telling us to grab our clothes and cover our face. The only thing we brought home is basically the clothes that we were wearing and just phones, just stuff we had on us.
Yeah.
Jacob's sister, Haley, had this to say about the miraculous survival.
We opened the back evacuation things and we were the second row from the back. Everyone else was covering their face with their shirts and jumpers and they had their head down. So obviously the staff would have said that. Because when we were in there you couldn't see anything, it was all smoke. And then the first, when I saw the door and the slide and just everything else, it was kind of more of a relief. The bag we have is the bag that Mum had, a crossbody bag with our passports in it, so luckily.
Investigations revealed that human error was the primary cause of the accident. The Coast Guard pilot misinterpreted air traffic control instructions, believing he had clearance to enter the runway when he was actually supposed to wait at a holding point. Limited visibility and air traffic control oversight were also cited as contributing factors. In addition, the Coast Guard plane was not equipped with ADS-B, which could have provided real-time position data. If you enjoy content like this, subscribe, and watch our other videos.